Reusse Unchained. Okay, we were debating, do we start with the Wolves debacle or the Twins debacle? But, okay, executive decision here. When Pat off mic says, I hate this bleeping lineup and this team, let's
Yes.
start there.
I can't stand it. Honest to God, I had a flashback to 82 when Calvin just said, the hell with it. We're not going to be good. Let's get rid of everybody and see if we can create something. I texted Judd this last night. Who, if you're watching a Twins game, who do you want to come up to the plate? Who's going to cause you to get a little bit excited because this guy's coming up to the plate? Name one. Name one. There's nobody.
Wait,
There's nobody.
excited or thinking that something good might happen? Or
Thinking that something good might happen. Who's what? I mean, that there's a very good chance that something good might happen. Obviously, everybody can, get hit a bat once in a
you know
while.
what? Ty France has the second most hit by pitches in the league in the last
Yes,
five.
that's
Ty
good.
France,
Could get
Roger
hit
Dorn
by a
style,
pitch.
taking one off the elbow.
Yeah, that could be. That could be it. I listen. I look at it and say, this is a 72 win team. This is a terrible team, and them and the Whiteys are going to be fighting, grappling, wrestling all year to see who can finish last. That's I don't think I'm overreacting. I look, Correa. Okay, he's a good player. He hits into more double plays than anybody in baseball, right? We did that last year. He was leading the world last year, and then he got hurt. Buck, we love having Buck back. He can run the ball down, but he's going to hit 240 and strike out 35% of the time. Christian Vasquez, get rid of him. Release him. Get some. We don't care if he can frame pitches better than anybody else. Get big chubby Camargo up here who might be able to run into one once in a while. This guy comes up 2 outs, the inning is over. It's over. Everybody just, like you, all the euchre jokes about the team being in the dugout packing up the bats when he was the last hitter in the game. They qualified for this guy. He's awful. Miranda, awful. Julian, we saw his best as a rookie. He's never going to be a player. He's never going to come back to what he was. The corner outfielders I can live with, but neither of them cause my heartbeat to race when they come up, Larnick and Wallner. It's a bad team.
Yeah, I mean, I'll add to this. So all the things you just mentioned, and to go big picture, they're drawing 14,000 fans on a Sunday, or 12,000, whatever it is. The first two non-opener.
That was the kids opener. That was a special
Yeah.
promotion. Sunday, it wasn't a horrible day. It was
nice. Yeah, it was very nice out there.
You are 15-35 in your last 50 games after the meltdown at the end of last season, and through all of this, the guy who oversees baseball ops got a promotion to oversee the whole thing.
He's now president. And by the way, when you got the TV, when somebody looks at the books and finds out how much Twins TV they are selling, right? They 2 years, was it 3 years ago? 3 years ago, there was 54 million or something from Valley, right? 54. They're going to get 5 if they're lucky. San Diego last year had this, and they drew 3 million, and they couldn't sell it. So
they made like $4 million off it or something,
right. I mean, you're going to look at the books, and the people have just, they'll show up with the kids some Thursday afternoon during the summer, and they'll stay for 7 innings. But it's a bad situation, and I think deep in his heart, Rocco knows he's got a rotten team, and there's nothing he can do about it.
But
you're our guy, Declan. Am I overreacting here?
No, I wouldn't fight that. He's also, Rocco is not your Gardenhire, your Jim Leland, if he gets fired from this job, which obviously is now probably in play, I don't see him then bouncing around and being the next manager of the Tigers or the Marlins or the Pod. Like he is not a baseball lifer. I think he also knows though, that this team might not be as good as he thought.
I don't know if they thought the pitching would carry them. Okay, and the pitch. I mean, I don't think this is I mean, Griffin Jacks. Okay, he's came out twice and pitched bad, threw a couple of bad pitches, and then yesterday, I have no idea what that was. What in God's name was
He
that?
didn't step and throw. That's
Yeah,
what
I
it
know.
was.
Step
He
and
launched.
throw, launched. Anyway, yeah. So he can't throw the ball 50 feet. But beyond that, it's the pitching's got a chance to be okay. But I hate a lineup, as I say. It's one of the worst lineups they've ever had, I think.
But Patrick, what do you do now? Like, in my opinion, if you're not drawing, if you are, and almost assuredly you're not selling TV packages, I mean, Baldelli, somebody has to. They've got to do something here to show that they're acting like they care. And unfortunately for
trade,
Baldelli,
you know
it's
what
probably
they
him.
can do? They can trade Roy Smalley. They can trade Butch Winnegar. They can trade Doug Corbett. They can trade.
Oh, you're just saying. Okay.
Trade everybody you can, reload, and win the World Series 5 years from now with the players you get.
Yeah.
You know, and call up your young guys. And don't. I certainly wouldn't ride it out. I mean, okay, give them another month. But if I get to the middle of May and this is what I got, anybody on my club is in play.
Well, you
And,
know that is an interesting. They, for all the commiserating about the ownership and sometimes the front office for decades, they haven't gone full youth movement since the early 2000s, right?
Yes. And you know what I'm thinking about? They're unveiling the Joe statue on Sunday, and that'll draw 12,000. But I was thinking, you know, that first decade of the 2000s, we didn't win as many playoff games as we'd like, but that was good. I mean, you had the MVP, the batting champion, and the Cy Young Award winner in the same year. Now you're gonna have Ron Coomer on the All-Star team. That's basically what you're gonna have.
Yeah, it is.
You're back to that team.
One thing we talked about with Plouffe yesterday on the SKOR Twin Show is you mentioned that era. So the Mauer Morneau, Johan,
yes,
that era. Well, Johan technically was on the 0-2 team in the bullpen, but like that era produced the wasted eras of this franchise.
Yes,
that era produced 0 playoff series wins. Yes. The Mauer Morneau Johan era.
2002 they did.
But Mauer and Morneau weren't on that team.
No, they weren't there yet. And then Joe, showed up the next year and hurts his knee on the first game he played at the Metrodome. Yeah. So,
and then if you were to take us back 10 years ago and the excitement for the Sano, Buxton, Rosario, Barrios era, and basically one guy was left over when they won a playoff series, but the wasted eras is what strikes me.
But also, what you bring up is the Sano Buxton. I mean, did we have any idea that Sano could turn into this much of a failure? No, we thought it was going to be. I mean, I remember writing something his second or third year down there, and everybody got mad at me about how he was out of shape. Oh, but it became more of a problem than that. It was just he couldn't put the bat in the ball, and I don't know what happened. I mean, strike out 140 times, that's fine, but don't strike out half the time. You can't do that. You can't strike out half the time, and this whole new operation since now Terry, those were Terry Ryan guys too, but how many times have they been right now on some of these young guys? I mean, Emmanuel Rodriguez, the kid over in St. Paul, we're excited about him. I figured out he's played 40% of his games. coming into this year.
Wow.
He's hurt. The injury problem is, and I guess it's you can't blame it on trainers and anything else. I don't know what it is, but and by the way, we were very excited. We had a big story about all the prospects at St. Paul. They can't score a run either. They have nobody to score a run either.
So Patrick, if this continues for through a month, do you trade Pablo? Do you trade Joe Ryan? Like what's your list of guys?
There's nobody.
So you trade everybody.
I got to get some value though. I mean, I've got Pablo. I've trade Pablo. The Dodgers got half their pitching staff hurt right now. The Dodgers are getting their heads handed to them by the Nats because they're pitching guys. Now Pablo, I don't know what he did. A little hammy, I guess. He probably missed a start. It didn't look too serious. But if somebody wants Pablo, they can have it. But you got to give me something. It's not going to be free.
Right.
But I don't know what you're trying to hold on to here.
Right.
It's not. There's not.
Fans are out. This would be the time.
Optimum of 78 and 84. Same thing you were last year, or whatever it was. What was it, 78 and 84 last year?
I think 82 and 80. But
82 and 80.
Yeah, put some respect on the 2024 Twins.
Excuse me, yes. I just, Ty Francis hitting fifth. Come on. I don't. Honest to God, I was watching yesterday, and I was still chuckling about what we were doing in Milwaukee. Now that was funny. That was the Twins last night was when you're watching that, they get good pitching and they still can't get a second run, and you're looking at the lineup. That's disgusting. But what the Timberwolves did to switch topics, I think. Here's my theory on them. I might even write this. This might be the most interesting team we've ever had in pro sports in Minnesota. This team is unbelievable. They are unbelievable. Obviously, the Finchy message in the locker room afterwards was, "Don't go out and beat yourself. Don't beat us. Don't say what you really want to say about how pathetic this was. Just say, it happened, and we got to bounce back from that." But it was phenomenal. It was just phenomenal. And Finchy said, "What? Well, it's just we couldn't adjust to the zone defense." Well, that would have been
why?
nice.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not call a timeout? And
Pat, they were staring at it for a half hour of real time. Like the Bucks had 9 defenders on the court. What do we do?
Yeah,
what are we supposed to do? It was like Tubby Smith against the 1-3-1 of Northwestern, like Judd brought up earlier.
That's right. That's right. Hey, do you know how bad it was? Jim Pete was openly disgusted.
Oh, man.
He was down.
Jim Pete was down,
was pissed.
and he was disgusted with them. And Grady, Grady, who can get there a little quicker than Jim Pete, they were disgusted with what they were watching. They couldn't believe it. And it's one of those games that the other team, if you come out and play for 2 minutes, they're not even going to try. They're gonna go. Giannis going to go sit down, and they're not going to try. And then Porter, who's a criminal, basically, what were he and Rudy go? What was that about?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, it was. Rudy went to set a screen on it's Kevin Porter Jr., right?
Yeah. Right.
And so Kevin Porter Jr. kind of initially throws his shoulder into Rudy to offset. And this is, by the way, on it wasn't an inbounds, but Ant had the ball and they were just initiating the half court action. So then Rudy kind of leans into him and tries to set the screen again. And Porter hooks Rudy's arm. So he pins Rudy's arm under his arm like this to make it look like, Rudy's fouling him and Rudy's trying to move his arm out of the way. It was just ridiculous. But if you go back and watch it, and then they tussled, whatever.
Yeah.
Ant is looking at Julius, who's kind of like 5 feet away from Rudy, and they're looking at each other literally with like palms up. What are we doing? Rudy's trying to set a screen, but they're trying to figure out, what are we running? What are we doing? It was just complete chaos. So dumb.
Give me another. Okay, you guys have been. Declan's, he's too young, but you guys have been around long enough. Give me another case of a team like this. This unpredictable. It's amazing because 2 years ago they lost a lot of these games, but they weren't as good as they are now. They got they were better too. They're better now. And Cat was what? Cat missed half that 2/3 of that season, didn't he? 2 years ago, wasn't that when he was injured?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been racking my old senile brain trying to think of any team we've had.
Yeah, because like at their best, they are legitimately one of the 3 best teams in the NBA.
Yes.
But then at their worst, they are one of the 5 worst teams in the NBA. It's the variance is unprecedented.
It is, and last night was the topper of, because as I said, the other team's ready to quit, and you won't let them.
Yeah. And again, not to put it all on Finchy, because I think he has some of the lowest IQ basketball players in the league. I mean, Ant has not figured out how to solve late game and stuff, all that. But this keeps happening under Finchy now, year after year after year. They're a really bad last 5 minutes team. Well, interesting day for that to happen when 5 hours earlier, Mike Malone, Tim Connolly's guy, gets fired.
Tim Connolly's guy, I'm saying, what are the odds Mike Malone will be coaching here Friday night if they lose in Memphis?
Don't even wait till next year. Just Friday night.
It's being done now.
Huh? Friday night.
It's being done, yeah.
And two guys get fired
Memphis.
the last 2 weeks of the season. It's amazing. But the Malone thing's unbelievable. That they pull the plug at this time of year. But he's a Kroenke. You can't trust those Kroenkes. You know, the kid is a Kroenke kid, and
they just swoop in the middle of the night.
I thought my sport was weird though in firing and the timing of firing coaches. Hockey's always been weird. Basketball is now beating it.
Yes, but they do not. They did not set the record by firing Malone with 3 games left. Is it 3?
4. I think it was 4. Or 3 or 4. Was it 3?
Louis fired his coach with 2 games left.
Lauren Henning.
Yes, Lord Henning.
I remember that well. Yes, he did.
If they could win the last 2, they could squeeze into the top 16 out of 21.
Glenn Sonmore was always there, Patrick. Always prepared to step back in.
2 games to go. But yeah, this is unbelievable that Malone is, But hey, I you got new owners. We have no idea what their volatility level is, but I would guess it's high, much higher than Glenn Taylor's was.
Yeah,
and,
And
if they might tell Connolly that the fact that these guys, they're going to have to. They've already lost the tiebreaker to Memphis, so that game Thursday night isn't as big as we kind of thought it was.
Well, it is though. With all the other teams that you're trying to.
Well, you got to win your last 3. If you win your last 3, you might get a home play-in game, right?
Well, if you win your last 3, you're probably in the top 6 seeds.
6, okay. Well,
because the other teams are kind of playing each other too. So
they got to win the last 3. But if there's a better than 50-50 chance that their fate is going to be going on the road for a play-in game. They're going to end up 8th.
It's very possible. If they lose to Memphis, they are likely the 8th seed at that point.
And by the way, the team that's kicking ass lately, since they got rid of their best player, Darren Fox, Sacramento's playing good. They're going to be nice.
Sacramento's a team that in a 7-game series, you would beat them. But in a one-game play-in, they might score 140 points on you.
Yes, that's right. So it's good. There's nothing worse than if this team would go. Finchy, I don't think that he'd be 100% safe if they go 0-2 in the play-in. Would you?
Or even if they get to the first round and they get beaten 5 by the Lakers or something. There's no way he's 100%. We were talking on Flagrant House. I wouldn't just fire him out of emotion and anger, but if I would have the Mike Malone discussion in the next 3 or 4 weeks. 100%.
And here's the other thing: they got an extra $1.5 billion. They're paying 50% of retail for this team. They got endless supply of money here to spend to do whatever they want to do, don't they?
Well, that's
they're getting a $3 billion
it's not like
franchise
not
for
to
$1.5 billion.
Right, but it's not like liquid, like the value of the franchise is $3 billion.
But I mean, what I'm saying is, it's a bar. They can turn around and sell it for $3 billion.
They could, yeah.
Turn around and
Back to
sell
Glenn.
it for $3 billion.
That was Glenn's fault.
Yes, yeah. They don't have to worry about saving bucks here. Now they got Bloomberg too and stuff. Yep. So I don't know. Yeah. What a day in Minnesota sports.
Things are great. Everything's fine.
Yes.
By the way, Chris Paddock on Instagram says, "Keep the faith, Twins. Keep the faith."
I never had it, Chris. What do you mean keep it? I never had it.
Yeah, keep that meaty fastball right in the heart of the strike zone, Chris.
Keep the faith, Minnesota. That's what he said. Keep the faith, Minnesota.
I think because Pablo is going to miss a starter.
Yeah, Zebby comes for him.
Paddock might get another start, but I thought he was heading for the bullpen. And although Zebby gave up a couple of runs last night.
I watched the start. I was there in St. Paul. He was great to start, and they're only giving him 5 innings right now, so they're kind of. They don't want him to go out and throw 100+ pitches quite yet, but he looked good. He was touching 98 on the gun. He's probably going to be up here, and Pablo has MRIs going on right now, and if it's a hamstring strain, Zebby probably takes his spot in the rotation.
How about the fact that Correa? Why don't we make him manager coach? We haven't had one of those in baseball since Frank Robinson. I think was a
Don Kessinger
player coach.
Yeah.
Don Kessinger. Why don't we make Correa the? But then we get some value out of him, right? He sees everything out there. He'll be more interested than he is. Rocco can go home and spend the time with the 3 kids. The little
make pitching changes.
The little girl, yeah, he can just wave them in, just keep playing shortstop. I think it'd be great. Let's go there.
I like it. I'm here for it. By the way, Carlos Correa had he led the league 2 years ago in ground ball double plays with 30. But then he only had 5 in 88 games last year. He already has 4 in the first week and a half of this season.
Hey, by the way, Probus instantly told us how hard he hit that double play ball. Guess what, Corey? We'd rather have him hit it soft. When it's hit right to the shortstop, we'd rather have it be trickling out there than be 4 good hard hops.
Patrick, it's time for the College of Coaches, just like the Cubs did. Let's bring back the College of Coaches and have 5 guys run the entire team.
Were you weren't on this planet when they were doing that?
No, but I've read about it. It's hilarious.
In the 60s, right? Was it?
Yeah,
the 60s?
Early 60s. College of Coaches.
It was, the guy coached for 40 games and he managed for 40 games and he brings somebody else in. It was great. Phil Wrigley, he was an odd duck, as they say. All right. Go back to the Calvin game plan, 1982. That's it.
Sell everything.
Sounds like a column to me.
All right.
Call Smalley.
Pat.
Find out. See ya.
Goodbye.
All right. Reusse Unchained.